Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is its way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is its way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. When I go to sleep at night, I add up my day. I think of all the things I've done, and debts I have to pay. There is one thing that I know, while you reap is while you sow. So keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah, sing with me. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Don't mind what you do and how you treat your fellow man. If you knew like me, you would do the very best you can. For if you spread good all around, you'll be able to sleep when the sun goes down. So keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Life is this way, yeah. Keep moving on, keep moving on. Every day, especially on a Sunday. Welcome, everybody. Thanks, Jim Jones.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. It feels a little loud. Is it me? Or we're good?
Rock and roll.
Okay. It just feels that way. Maybe it's just, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to try to pretend. So anyway, I'm just thrilled that you guys are here. It's just so much more fun when you are. So thank you for being here this morning. And as we celebrate, apparently tonight at sundown begins Islamic New Year. So, every day is a new year, I suppose, but it's a special one. And so we just hold in our hearts a place of joy and peace and prosperity for all our Muslim brothers and sisters, wherever they be around the world. And we just hold that experience of peace. So let's see. So you guys had an assignment for last week. I'm going to check in with you on that. Anybody remember what the assignment was? Nope. So the assignment was, I'm a simpleton. And so, what comes out of my mouth basically is one of two things. And this one is be curious, not judgmental. So the assignment was to sit with someone who holds a different opinion than yourself, and not to try to fix them, but just to truly listen to them. Every day of your life. Amen, sister. I love that. So, all hands went up. So I just want to check in. So anybody do that? Anybody do that? Yeah. Anybody want to share their experience? Paul, how about you? Yes, no? You don't have to. Yeah. Remembering Jack Cornfield to stay in your seat. However, that's not curious. That's not curious. Yeah, that's tolerating. That's tolerating.
I have one.
Yes, please.
I asked a friend of mine who was a different political persuasion. I said, who are you going to vote for? And I decided I was going to stay in my seat and be open and really open and hear what she had to say. And I did. And it was actually very pleasant. And she asked me, and we left nodding our heads, and no one tried to persuade each other, but we were just listening.
Fabulous.
And I like that. I really like that.
Yeah, it's so much nicer than thinking somebody is the end of the world. Yes, Karen. Yes, yeah. So years ago, there was a guy, Simmons. I don't remember what his first name was, but he wrote a book called Eye of the Storm. It was a really good book. But he talks about that, and he talks about very similar to what you were saying, Karen. But the response is, "Tell me more." And then as they go on and on and on, you just say, "Well, just tell me more. Tell me more." And eventually you'll get to the issue, because the issues that we're arguing about aren't the issues that we're really arguing about. There's something deeper, juicier there. And if we can stay in our seat, if we can be curious, it will begin to reveal itself. So the thing is just whatever's going on, if you're having an argument with somebody, tell me more. Tell me more about that. And then they give you the reason, and then just tell me more and tell me more. And eventually we'll get to the place. Yeah, very good. Anyone else? Anyone else? Nope. Okay, that's you have assignments for this week too. It's my newest thing. So, Jim, how you doing, buddy? Good. How's class?
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Good. I heard lots of laughter going on in there as I was going on there. Yeah, good to see. And how about you, my dear friend?
Going
Lee?
strong. Put
Yeah.
music in the world. Played a wedding last night and a memorial yesterday at noon. So just all different types of love in the air. So
Yeah.
feeling
nice.
my purpose again.
Nice. Did you have a good Fourth?
I did, yes. Relaxed. Me and Kai's still healing, so we just kind of had a mellow one. Yeah.
Fabulous. Okay. How about you, my dear?
I'm in a really good place. I feel when I woke up this morning and did some of my spiritual reading as I normally do, I just felt really grounded and also happy to be here and happy to be on platform. I love Hilltop. I love being here, and I love the spiritual community. So I'm in a good place. Thank you.
Thank you. Good. Everybody's well? Everybody got good news to share? Then we'll dive in. So I have good news to share. One is we're having a barbecue in August, and that's going to be a lot of fun. We're looking forward to that. We're going to have music and food and all kinds of good stuff. So that's coming down. So pay attention. It is Saturday, August 8th, 10th. 10th. August 10th. Huh? 10th. Isn't it not the 10th? The 10th, August 10th. So mark your calendars for that. That's coming down. Let's see what else is going on. I'm going to do a class on spiritual practices, but I think I'm going to wait until September for that because people travel and meditation on Wednesdays is happening there. Sunday morning class is going on. What else do I want to say? What I want to say is, no, I don't want to say that yet. I'll say it in my talk. Guess the bus got here. You're all here. So I guess we can start service. So with that, Liz, why don't you begin us today?
Okay. As I said, it's really wonderful to be here with all of you. And I see a lot of familiar faces, and I see some new faces that I want to get to know more. So make sure that after the service that we can talk, and Reverend Guy as well. And one of the things that I love about Hilltop and our practice is that we are welcoming of all beliefs. I don't know how many of you've noticed the door that you enter in and all the different religions that are represented there. And that was the first thing that I noticed when I came here, that I didn't feel exclusive, I felt inclusive, that no matter what your path is to the divine, you're welcome. And we all celebrate each other and our belief. And our belief in getting there may be a little different, but who cares? As long as we're together and we're all wanting the same thing, which is peace within ourselves, peace in the world, love, all of the wonderful things that our souls and our hearts want. And this is what this spiritual community represents to me. And I'm just, it fills my heart, it fills my life, and that's why I'm here and have dedicated my life to spirit. And so I'm so happy to welcome all of you. And this month, the focus is going to be on spiritual freedom. And so the reading that I selected, I hope echoes that, because I think about that. I think about the world that I came from, which was a very tight, very narrow and very judgmental religion. And I walked away from that, as I'm sure many of us have, to find something that was more welcoming to everybody, no matter what your background was, who you were. We're all children of God. We're all that creation. So how could we be rejected, or any of that? So I love the idea of spiritual freedom. And the reading that I have picked goes like this. When you turn your life into a journey of self-discovery, there is nothing to fear. You embrace change with the openness and curiosity of an innocent child. This is the path to freedom. I'm going to repeat that later, but I want to first open the service with prayer. So as we ground ourselves in our seat, and just if you want to close your eyes, that's fine. Knowing that we're all here with one purpose, that is to have fellowship with each other in community, to feel that essence of the divine in filling our hearts with love, with light, with peace, with joy, with everything that is the absence of fear, that all of these qualities are so much stronger than any of the negative feelings of the anxiety or fear. And we come here to develop stronger tools to be able to bring those feelings in more readily. So we're here together. And as we practice and love each other and listen, we'll enjoy the music that will fill our hearts, the beautiful words of Reverend Guy, the prayer, everything of fellowship with each other. And that's why we come, to be uplifted, to have a sense of unity and community. And I'm so grateful for this opportunity to share this with you, to feel that freedom of expression, of love, that everything is perfect just the way it is right now, and feeling these feelings. So I release these words into that infinite universal mind of God, knowing that it's already heard, it's said, it's done. And with deep, deep gratitude, together we say, and so it is. And I want to repeat that reading. When you turn your life into a journey of self-discovery, there is nothing to fear. You embrace change with the openness and curiosity of an innocent child. This is the path to freedom, and so it is. Now we'll do 3 minutes of silent prayer, meditation, and take those words in, the curiosity and the innocence of a child. And as we come back into the room, we just again, our hearts filled with gratitude for the meditation and for the music about to come. So it is.
I'll play this classic number about keeping that childlike wonder. I see trees of green, red roses too. I watch them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, the bright blessed day and a dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I see babies crying, and I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than we'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Thank you. Indeed. Indeed. Please welcome our Reverend Dr. Guy Williams. Thanks, Jim.
Thank you, Lee. Thank you for that song, especially. As you were playing it, I was thinking of what it conjures in my mind.
We all have it.
We all have
Yeah,
that. We all have
yeah.
those images. The soundtracks of our lives, right? You know, you hear a certain song and it transports you to a certain place. And I was thinking about that because I was thinking, as you were singing that the image that I have is from the movie Good Morning Vietnam. Y'all remember that movie? Yeah. And there's a scene where the song is played. And as the song is playing, there is the film of the activity of Vietnam during the war and what that looked like and what that experience. And it was just this very surreal juxtaposition of a song that's about hope and nurturing and what a wonderful world it is. And it is. And it's also a world that can be so, there's such dire beauty. And there can be, you know, so many things that are mixed in that. And I was, you know, that thought in itself is one that I've been thinking about all week because, again, when I should be doing the business of the church and writing talks and studying, I'm listening to Lord of the Rings, and it's just fabulous. I will say the caveat is that I'm going to the gym longer because I'm listening to it on my buds, and so I'm walking through, on my way to Rivendell as other things. But there's a part in the story where well, I'll just spoil what it is. So there's a part in the story where Frodo, who's one of the main characters, he's probably the main character of him and another, there's a few, but him, of a main character in the book. And he has just gotten the news of the real malignancy of the ring. And the thing about the ring, this ring of power, is that it is impossible for good to ever come from any activity in which the ring is involved. And also that it is impossible to not be corrupted by the power of the ring if it's in your possession. And at the end of the day, what they need to do with it. And Frodo, who has, unbeknownst to him, inherited this ring, and now the burden of the ring lays on him. And he's talking to Gandalf, who is one of his counselors, and he's like, God, I wish this thing never came to me. And Gandalf says something to the effect of, yeah, don't we all? Don't we all? Don't we all wish that the thing that we're having to deal with wasn't ours to deal with? But here it is. And it's not for us to question or to complain or waily about this, that, or the other, but to do the best we can with what we have. Because that's all that's asked of us, is to do the best we can with what we have. As limited as that may seem, but just what an incredible experience happens. And it is, the beauty of the story of Lord of the Rings is it's such an age-old metaphysical truth, which is the weakest, the smallest, the least likely is the one that brings the greatest change and the greatest good. It's the thing that is overlooked. There's a saying that Jesus says, it is the stone that is overlooked that becomes the cornerstone of the whole superstructure of our life. And so in many ways, it's the things we least want to deal with that are often the things that are the most foundational for who we are and what we've been called to do. It's just kind of how it is, and we can complain about it, but that doesn't change anything, and it's just sort of a waste of energy to do so. And we get our times to do that, with however we do that. So I want to continue this theme this month on something that I said last week, which is this. Our theme is about freedom. And, freedom, there is no real freedom. There is no free will without self-discovery. And there is no self-discovery without disruption. Oh, that it was different. But I would love to hear someone explain to me how it is different, because my experience, and I'm guessing your experience is the same way, is that it is through those disruptive elements, whether through amazement and awe and sublime, or fear and suffering and or whatever the case may be. It is those things that disrupt the norm that cause us to reflect, and it is that reflection that causes us to grow. And it is that growth that causes us to understand who we truly are, and who we truly are is the thing that allows us to be the freest that we can be. Interestingly enough, the thing that disruption brings us is remembrance. There is a line from Jacob Needleman's book, The Heart of Philosophy, where he says something to the effect of we need, as humans, we need philosophy in order to live. The study of wisdom. the study of knowing. And he says, you know, we need it to live because the very essence of who we are at our heart needs the nurturing that only philosophy can give us. And without that philosophy, we die. We shrivel, we constrict, we are limited. What he goes on to say is this. He says, the function of philosophy in human life is to help us remember it has no other task. And anything that calls itself philosophy, which does not serve this function, is simply not philosophy. So in order to discern, is it philosophical? Does it support us in remembering the very essence of who we are, and not the things that distract us, not the things that we get caught up in, not the things that seem so expedient in the moment, but cause a level of amnesia. Again, I think of, you know, the words of Jesus, where he says, what does it profit a person to gain the world and lose their soul? You know, what does it profit us to gain everything that we think we need or want, but at the end have no idea who we are? There's this great story in T.D. Suzuki's book on Zen. And he tells the story of a samurai, and the samurai was tasked with avenging the murder of his liege lord by a rogue samurai. And this guy was a real sort of badass. And so the samurai is seeking him out and pursuing him here or there and doing whatever the case may be. And he finally gets him. He has him cornered, right? And he's drawn out his sword and he is ready to dispatch him. And the rogue spits on him. And the samurai sheathes his sword and walks away. He walks away because he could dispatch the rogue, but he would do it for the wrong reasons. He would do it out of anger, not out of justice. And so that really begins to ask the question, it's not so much what we do, but the real question is, who is it that is doing the things that we do, right? So it's not so much all the activities that we do, but the real question, the more interesting question is who's doing it? In other words, what's motivating us? What's driving us? And, you know, I think, you know, the thing of it is, we were talking about this just a little bit before service, is when we look at the world today, one of the things that it tells us to do silently, so insidiously, is for the good of who we are, to abandon everything about who we are. For the good of democracy, we should suspend democracy. For the good of our own internal integrity, we should not listen to our inner voice, but follow some wise pundit as to what to do. Whatever the case may be, for the good of something, we should do something else. And by the way, that is a talk that comes right out of Mordor, for those of you who have ears to hear of what that looks like. And so the real challenge then for all of us is, that philosophical question, who am I? Why have I come here? What is mine to do? And the real one, the real deep part of that questioning. And what are the stories that I tell myself of when I constrict that? What is the stories that I tell myself that who I truly am doesn't matter in the moment that I'm in? What story do I tell myself when I say to myself that what I've come to do is not as important as, fill in the blank, or whatever the case may be? And so the real challenge always and always and always for all of us is that experience of remembering, of questioning, of breathing, of moving into it, and to kind of live from that place. In 1959, the summer of 1959, I wasn't there, but Ernest Holmes gave this very mystical, prescient talk at a place called Asilomar. And Asilomar had been a gathering for members of our denomination from the early days, back when we called ourselves religious scientists. And, and our metaphysics were on that. And Ernest Holmes, so every year, Ernest Holmes and the entire church, it was quite small at that time, they would all go to this place up in Pacific Grove called Asilomar. It's this beautiful place. It was designed and built by Julia Morgan, who designed Hearst Castle. It's this great arts and crafts campus, and it's just beautiful, and it's on the ocean, and August is a perfect time to be in Pacific Grove because of just the way that the beach sets and all the wind things. It's always cool and misty and magical, and there's deer and fox and all these kinds of things. And so it's in this just enchanting place that Ernest Holmes gives this, probably his final talk, because he passes from this world in April of 1960. So it was certainly his last time in Asilomar and one of his last public speakings. But he gives this talk called The Sermon by the Sea. And there's all kinds of beautiful poetry in this. But one of the things that he talks about over and over in this talk is, show me a person who is, living within the integrity of who they are. And I will show you, the future of the world kind of thing. This is his talk. And, things change, right? I remember when I was kind of coming up in our denomination, and I was a practitioner, and I was in the school of ministry, and later became a minister, that Asilomar every year was the gathering of the tribes. It used to be a month. There were 2 weeks for our particular side and 2 weeks for the other side, international, at that point in time. And then it came down to 2 weeks, and then we integrated, and then we stopped going. For whatever reason that may be, things changed in our organization. Things continue to change in our organization, and things will no doubt continue to change in our organization for the wisdom of the guidance of the leadership of wherever that may be. But for myself, I look forward every year to Asilomar because it was a time to get together with colleagues. It was a time to get together with friends and just relax and be in this place. And so the ending of astrology, the ending of Asilomar for me was a real disruption, because it was like not having my family, my home, my tribe. There was a real sense of feeling alone and kind of cut off. And yet, as Charles Darwin says, in the world of evolution, we have a misnomer. We have been taught wrong from the origin of species that survival is the survival of the fittest, which is not what he wrote. What he wrote is, it is survival of the one who is most adaptable. I would even say the most cooperative. That's where evolution happens. It's not so much how strong you are, but how agile you are, and how you're able to, whatever the disruption may be, adjust to it, adapt to it, and move to it, because that's just how evolution works. And so that's been my own personal evolution as a minister here, and what that looks like. And, for myself, I look at a couple of the touchstones that I can take with me, the things that I remember. And for myself, there are two things that I remember. Excuse me a second. Three things. Remember to stay hydrated. But two things that I remember that stand out so deeply in that one. And the first is this, how we place our attention not so much on the things we fear, but place our attention on the things that we desire. This is foundational. What I say almost weekly, and here it is once a week again, is, thoughts are causative. So where your attention is kind of what's going on in your life, and it's what's moving towards you. And why not make it a dance? A dance. Sarah Bessey, in her lovely, lovely book, Notebooks for the Wilderness, says it this way. She says, if it helps, sometimes I've thought of this as the rhythm of turning away and then turning toward, almost like a beautiful dance. We turn away from those things we are against and toward the hopeful future we imagine. In a purposeful movement, we turn away from the practices or beliefs or habits that consume us, threaten us, reduce us, and distract us, and then we turn toward that flourishing goodness and truth to us. Turn away, yes, turn toward. What we turn toward should be, what we turn towards should reorient us to the world in a posture of love, of joy, of service. And so it's kind of like a dance, like, oh, I'm distracted again. Oh, the news is telling me I should be afraid again. Oh, my boss, my partner, oh, the weather, no matter what that thing is out there. Oh, yeah. But I turn towards the good, the true, the beautiful. And I remember, and I remember, and I remember myself. And I remember that I'm not those stories that I tell myself about myself. One of the things that I've been, that I was reading a book this week, I mentioned that, and this line stood out to me so brilliantly. It's like a neon light to me. It basically said, you cannot change what you do not love. You cannot change what you do not love. And you cannot change yourself unless you love yourself. That's just basically what it does. And so part of the practice then is the practice of reorienting ourselves toward the good, toward the beautiful. And yes, somebody's always going to cut us off. And yes, somebody's always going to be in line in front of us at a bank or a grocery store that has to talk about their grandchildren and their dogs and all this other kind of stuff, and you're having to hurry home to do whatever. That's always going to happen, because the bottom line is there are so many more things that we're not in control of, if we're in control of anything, but certainly not. But we can dance in that. We can reorient ourselves towards what is good, what is true, what is beautiful. I journal every morning, and the first question that I ask myself in my journal is always, what am I grateful for? And it's interesting to me the mornings that I have to sit with that for a little bit. Because it's easy, I can cheat, because there's like, I'm grateful for my family. Well, of course you are, Guy. I'm grateful for my health. Of course you are, Guy. You're grateful for all those things. Yeah. But it's like, what am I grateful for? What am I really, those things are givens. But can I stretch? Can I stretch? Can I dance toward? Can I move towards? Can I stay agile enough to reorient myself to the truly beautiful, good, and wonderful things that I'm grateful for? Because that just, it causes the mind to do whatever it is that we need to do. And so the second thing that the Sermon of the Sea speaks to me about is first this idea of this dance of always reorienting myself. But the second thing is this, is to live as authentically as I possibly can. There's a line from Howard Thurman that you've probably heard a million times before. It's a great poster one, with one of those cats hanging on a tree or something like that. But so it's almost cliche, but I want to share it anyway, because to me it is so deeply profound. And Howard Thurman says this. He says, don't ask yourself what the world needs. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come to be alive. Everybody breathe that one in. Let me read it again just for grins. Don't ask yourself what the world needs. Ask yourself what makes you come alive, and go do that. Because what the world needs is people who have come alive. And so as we look at these next couple months in this wonderful dance that we are all in, don't ask, what is it that needs to happen? Rather, ask yourself, what fills my heart with joy? Where do I feel life? Where do I tap into that infinite, loving, creative spirit? And do that, engage in that, dance toward that, embrace that, no matter what the external things are. You know, something that Emma Curtis Hopkins says, who was this great war horse of a teacher to Ernest Holmes and then and there and beyond. But she used to talk about this idea, don't be deceived by the appearance of things. Because it's so easy to do. It's so easy to be distracted by the whaley and the oh my God and project this and just that, the other thing. You know, it's so easy. And it's so easy to lose ourselves into that. Because that's the temptation. That's the lie. Yeah, just surrender the essence of who you are for the most expedient, and all will be well. Well, that idea has worked out never. So why would we possibly think it will ever work when it never did? And so maybe how interesting, how wonderful to create a trajectory that says, you know, all that stuff you're telling me that I should be worried about and concerned about. Not that we shouldn't be worried or concerned about these kinds of things, but we're not going to resolve anything through that. But rather, philosophically, who am I? What have I come to be? What am I called to do? What is the thing that brings me joy? What is it that I do when I am most alive? That is what the world needs. And just like Frodo, it is the thing that seems least likely. It is the stone that is rejected that becomes the very cornerstone that creates the superstructure of truly the world that we envision, a world that works for all. Thank you.
Thanks, Rev. Beautiful. Yeah. Nice.
So two things before I forget. I'm so sorry. It's good to be king. Two things. One is, hello to those of you who are watching us in the virtual world. I have not forgotten you or don't think that you don't exist. I've just been preoccupied with something else. So anyway, I love you and I'm so grateful that you are watching. So that's the first thing. The second thing is your assignment this week. Your assignment is, what makes you feel most alive? And what story do you tell yourself when you don't? Or what do you dance to and dance away from? Where does your attention go as opposed to where it might be stuck? So that's your assignment. I'm going to ask you next week. Sorry about that. Thank you. Go ahead. Carry on.
Here for the assignments. I like it. Okay, let's sing together like we've always done since the beginning of time.
We let love wash over us. We let it be. We let love wash over us. We let it be.
We let life.
We let life wash over us. We let it be.
We let hope.
We let hope wash over us. We let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. We let breath wash over us. We let it be.
We let light.
We let light wash over us. We let it be.
Back to the Beatles. Here we go.
Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be.
We let love.
We let love wash over us. We let it be.
One more time.
We let love wash over us. We let it be.
You're beautiful. Marvelous, marvelous. Yeah.
And now it comes time for a really lovely part of our service. I call it conscious awakening and appreciation rather than giving. Because we can't give to something we don't understand or appreciate, and that is Hilltop for me. It is my center, my spiritual grounding. All of you are my spiritual community and family. And it costs to keep our doors open, the lights on, and all of that. So rather than look at it as a budget or a P&L, I look at it as a truly exchange of energy. And I know so many of you are so generous in your giving, whether it's your talents, your support, bringing food in, whatever way you do it. So if you choose to give with financial means today, hold it to your heart and know that it is a beautiful exchange of saying thank you. And that flow of energy goes in and out. And so it is.
I'm singing you. Thank you. Yeah. I'm singing you. Yeah, you. Thank you. The people coming through.
Yeah, the people coming through. So thank you, all those who come through, you know. I don't even know where to start. I mean, there are so many of you guys that do so much. So thank you all for all the generosity that all of you have. Especially want to thank Jeff today, who's sitting in doing sound. It comes in once a month. Yes. Yeah. And Steve, who has just grabbed the money bag with a big smile on his face. All he does, he is our board president, and he is working behind the scenes doing so many things. I've got to tell you, he has done a remarkable job with our center as we navigated post-pandemic and as we move into the world and that kind of part. He's a good cancer, and he's always looking to nurture and looking for the stability and has a great investment in our home. So thank you, Steve. I want to thank our greeters today and welcome back. We've missed you the last couple weeks. Yeah, we've missed you. I understand that you've been a little under the weather. Yes. All better now. Good. So it's good seeing you guys. So thank you for the greeters and for Matt and Mike, actually Mike's wife, Anne, and Kurt, and all those who are in the kitchen to do that. The bread people, Karen, Bob, thank you guys so much for that. For everybody that serves, Lee, Jim, Andrea, who's always doing something here. Liz, who's a member of the board, is a practitioner. Everybody, if I'm forgetting somebody, please forgive me. I'm just so grateful for each and every one of you. So there's that. And I guess a feast is spread for us as it typically is. Paul, you look like you got something really juicy to say. Oh, prayer circle. Nope. Prayer circle, about 10 minutes after service, Liz will be doing a prayer circle. I guess that's it. Prayer, the most important thing, prayer. So if your heart has been touched in any way today, please do not leave without the benefit of prayer. And there are a couple ways you can do that. You can go to one of the practitioners, Paul or Terry or Andrea, or let's see, who's Kurt. Who else is here today? Jennifer, I thought I saw. Liz? I said Liz. Jennifer, I said Jennifer. Anyway, if you go to a practitioner, go to anybody, but go to a practitioner, ask them for prayer. They'll be happy to pray with you. You can fill out a prayer request. We pray weekly during that. The whole group of practitioners do. Or you can set up time to meet with any one of us, and we'll be happy to meet with you. So there you have that. So with that, let us pray. Let us enjoy this day. So we just take this moment to breathe. Consciously breathing, consciously being aware of our breath, which brings us into our body. When we breathe, everything changes. We can just feel that. So we just breathe in, asking that deep inner guidance within us. That presence of love that was there at the very beginning of all things to guide us, to reveal to us that which nurtures us and brings us life abundantly. And may we this week stay in that dance that twirls like a dervish, gently, lovingly, keeping our attention always on the good, the true, and the beautiful. And we bless this day in that consciousness, giving thanks, letting it be, and so it is.
Out of nowhere, you were right there, stood right by me. I knew your face. Yeah, you got my back like a jetpack. You boost me up like outer space. 'Cause we're dancing through the stars, is how it came to be. Won't you dance through the stars with me? Yeah, we're dancing through the stars, that's all we really do. Wanna dance through the stars with you. Ooh. We're designed to think to survive. You helped me zoom out when you arrived. We're the same things, all just starlings. My darling earthlings, don't you feel alive? 'Cause we're dancing through the stars, is how it came to be. Won't you dance through the stars with me? Yeah, we're dancing through the stars, that's all we really do. Wanna dance through the stars with you. Everywhere we go, we're dancing through the stars. Everyone we know, we're dancing through the stars. Every kiss we steal, everything we feel, we're dancing through the stars. We are, we are. Why am I here? I've got an idea. The music I hear when I'm with you. Let's get working. Pull back that curtain so the people hurting can hear it too. 'Cause we're dancing through the stars. It's how we came to be. Won't you dance through the stars with me? Yeah, we're dancing through the stars. That's all we really do. Wanna dance through the stars with you. Everywhere we go, we're dancing through the stars. Everyone we know, they're dancing through the stars. Every kiss we steal, everything we feel, we're dancing through the stars. We are, we are. Yes, we are, we are, we are. Singing. Here we are, we are, we are. 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 We are here. Happy Sunday, everybody. Much love. Thanks, Jim.